Chapter 17. Do the most difficult task first. Sir Thomas Fowell Buxton once wrote, "The longer I live, the more I am certain that the great difference between men, between the feeble and the powerful, between the great and the insignificant, is energy, invincible determination, a purpose once fixed, and then death or victory." One of the best techniques for overcoming procrastination and getting more things done faster is for you to start work by doing your most difficult task first. This is truly eating your frog, and it is one of the hardest and yet one of the most important of all personal management skills. You develop this habit by following these steps. At the end of your workday or on the weekend, make a list of everything you have to do the next day. Review this list using the ABCDE method combined with the 80-20 rule. Next, select your A1 most important task, the job that has the most serious potential consequences if you get it done or leave it undone. Then, assemble everything you need to start and finish this job and lay it out, ready for you to start work in the morning. Clear your workspace completely so that you have this one most important task like a big frog sitting on your desk waiting for you in the morning. Then discipline yourself to get up, get ready, and then walk in, sit down, and start on your most difficult task without interruptions before you do anything else. Do this every day for 21 days until it becomes a habit. With this discipline, you will literally double your productivity in less than a month. Starting first thing in the morning with your biggest and most important task is the opposite of what most people do. This discipline breaks you of the habit of procrastination and puts your future squarely in your own hands. Starting with your most difficult job or piece of the job gives you a jump start on the day. As a result, you'll be more energized and productive from then on. On the days when you launch immediately into your top job, you will feel better about yourself and your work than on any other day. You will personally feel more powerful, more effective, more in control, and more in charge of your life than at any other time. Develop the habit of doing the most difficult task first, and you'll never look back. You'll become one of the most productive people of your generation. Here's how you can put this idea into action. See yourself as a work in progress. Dedicate yourself to developing the habits of high productivity by practicing them repeatedly until they become automatic and easy. One of the most powerful phrases you can learn and apply is just for today. Don't worry about changing yourself for your whole life. If it sounds like a good idea, do it just for today. Say to yourself, just for today I will plan, prepare, and start on my most difficult task before I do anything else. You will be amazed at the difference this makes in your life. Chapter 18. Slice and dice the task. Orson Swett Marden once wrote, "The beginning of a habit is like an invisible thread, but every time we repeat the act, we strengthen the strand, add to it another filament, until it becomes a great cable and binds us irrevocably in thought and act." A major reason for procrastinating on big, important tasks is that they often appear so large and formidable when you first approach them. One technique that you can use to cut a big task down to size is the salami slice method of getting work done. With this method, you lay out the task in detail and then resolve to do just one slice of the job for the time being, like eating a roll of salami, one slice at a time, or like eating a frog, one piece at a time. Psychologically, you will find it easier to do a single small piece of a large project than to start on the whole job. Often, once you've started and completed a single part of the job, you will feel like doing just one more slice. Soon you'll find yourself working through the job one part at a time, and before you know it, the job will be completed. An important point to remember is that you have deep within you what is called an urge to completion, or what is often referred to as a compulsion to closure. This means that you actually feel happier and more powerful when you start and complete a task of any kind. You satisfy a deep subconscious need to bring finality to a job or project. This sense of completion or closure motivates you to start the next task or project, and then to persist toward final completion. This act of completion triggers the release of endorphins in your brain that was mentioned earlier. And the bigger the task you start and complete, the better and more elated you feel. The bigger the frog you eat, the greater the surge of personal power and energy you will experience. When you start and finish a small piece of a task, you feel motivated to start and finish another part, and then another, and so on. Each small step forward energizes you. You develop an inner drive that motivates you to carry through to completion. This completion gives you the great feeling of happiness and satisfaction that accompanies any success. Another technique you can use to get yourself going is called the Swiss cheese method of working. You use this technique to get yourself into gear by resolving to punch a hole into the task, like a hole in a block of Swiss cheese. You Swiss cheese a task when you resolve to work for a specific time period on it. This may be as little as 5 or 10 minutes, after which you will stop and do something else. You will take just one bite of your frog and then rest or do something else. The power of this method is similar to that of the salami slice method. Once you start working, you develop a sense of forward momentum and a feeling of accomplishment. You become energized and excited. You feel internally motivated and propelled to keep going until the task is complete. You should try the salami slice or the Swiss cheese method on any task that seems overwhelming when you approach it for the first time. You will be amazed at how helpful these techniques are in overcoming procrastination. I have several friends who have become best-selling authors by simply resolving to write one page or even one paragraph per day until the book was completed. And you can do the same. Now, put these techniques into action immediately. Take a large, complex, multitask job that you've been putting off and either salami slice or Swiss cheese it to get it started. A common quality of successful, happy people is that they are action-oriented. When they hear a good idea, they take action on it immediately to see if it can help them. Don't delay. Try it today. Chapter 19. Create large chunks of time. Needle Cabine once wrote, "Nothing can add more power to your life than concentrating all of your energies on a limited set of targets." The strategy of creating large chunks of time requires a commitment from you to work at a scheduled time on large tasks. Most of the really important work you do requires large chunks of unbroken time to complete. Your ability to create and carve out these blocks of high-value, highly productive time is central to your ability to make a significant contribution to your work and to your life. Successful salespeople set aside a specific time period each day to phone prospects. Rather than procrastinating or delaying on a task that they don't particularly like, they resolve that they will phone for 1 solid hour, between 10 and 11 a.m., for example, and they then discipline themselves to follow through on their resolutions. Many business executives set aside a specific time each day to call customers directly to get feedback. Some people allocate specific 30 to 60-minute time periods each day for exercise. Many people read great books, 15 minutes each night before retiring. In this way, over time, they eventually read dozens of the best books ever written. The key to the success of this method of working in specific time segments is for you to plan your day in advance and specifically schedule a fixed time period for a particular activity or task. You make work appointments with yourself and then discipline yourself to keep them. You set aside 30, 60, and 90-minute time segments that you use to work on and complete important tasks. Many highly productive people schedule specific activities in pre-planned time slots all day long. These people build their work lives around accomplishing key tasks one at a time. As a result, they become more and more productive and eventually produce 2 times, 3 times, and 5 times as much as the average person. A time planner, broken down by day, hour, and minute, organized in advance, can be one of the most powerful personal productivity tools of all. It enables you to see where you can consolidate and create blocks of time for concentrated work. During this working time, you turn off the telephone, eliminate all distractions, and work non-stop. One of the best work habits of all is for you to get up early and work at home in the morning for several hours. You can get 3 times as much work done at home without interruptions as you ever could in a busy office where you are surrounded by people and bombarded by phone calls. When you fly on business, you can create your office in the air by planning your work thoroughly before you depart. When the plane takes off, you can work non-stop for the entire flight. You will be amazed at how much work you can go through when you work steadily in an airplane without interruptions. One of the keys to high levels of performance and productivity is for you to make every minute count. Use travel and transition times, what are often called gifts of time, to complete small chunks of larger tasks. Remember, the pyramids were built 1 block at a time. A great life and a great career is built 1 task, and often 1 part of a task, at a time. Your job in time management is to deliberately and creatively organize the concentrated time periods you need to get your jobs done well and on schedule. Here's some ways to apply this idea. Think continually of different ways that you can save, schedule, and consolidate large chunks of time. Use this time to work on important tasks with the most significant long-term consequences. Make every minute count. Work steadily and continuously without diversion or distraction by planning and preparing your work in advance. Most of all, keep focused on the most important results for which you are responsible. Chapter number 20, Develop a Sense of Urgency. Napoleon Hill once wrote, "Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along." Perhaps the most outwardly identifiable quality of a high-performing man or woman, as I mentioned earlier, is action orientation. Highly productive people take the time to think, plan, and set priorities. They then launch quickly and strongly toward their goals and objectives. They work steadily, smoothly, and continuously, and seem to go through enormous amounts of work in the same time period that the average person spends socializing, wasting time, and working on low-value activities. When you work on high-value tasks at a high and continuous level of activity, you can actually enter into an amazing mental state called flow. Almost everyone has experienced this at some time. Really successful people are those who get themselves into this state far more often than the average. In the state of flow, which is the highest human state of performance and productivity, something almost miraculous happens to your mind and emotions. You feel elated and clear. Everything you do seems effortless and accurate. You feel happy and energized. You experience a tremendous sense of calm and personal effectiveness. In the state of flow, identified and talked about over the centuries, you actually function on a higher plane of clarity, creativity, and competence. You are more sensitive and aware. Your insight and intuition function with incredible precision. You see the interconnectedness of people and circumstances around you. You often come up with brilliant ideas and insights that enable you to move ahead even more rapidly. One of the ways that you can trigger this state of flow is by developing a sense of urgency. This is an inner drive and desire to get on with a job quickly and get it done fast. This inner drive is an impatience that motivates you to get going and to keep going. A sense of urgency feels very much like racing against yourself. With this ingrained sense of urgency, you develop a bias for action. You take action rather than talking continually about what you are going to do. You focus on specific steps you can take immediately. You concentrate on the things you can do right now to get the results you want and achieve the goals you desire. A fast tempo seems to go hand in hand with all great success. Developing this tempo requires that you start moving and keep moving at a steady rate. When you become an action-oriented person, you activate what is called the momentum principle of success. This principle says that although it may take tremendous amounts of energy to overcome inertia and get going initially, it then takes far less energy to keep going. The good news is that the faster you move, the more energy you have. The faster you move, the more you get done, and the more effective you feel. The faster you move, the more experience you get, and the more you learn. The faster you move, the more competent and capable you become at your work. A sense of urgency shifts you automatically onto the fast track in your career. The faster you work and the more you get done, the higher will be your levels of self-esteem, self-respect, and personal pride. One of the simplest and yet most powerful ways to get yourself started is to repeat the words, "Do it now, do it now, do it now," over and over to yourself. If you feel yourself slowing or becoming distracted by conversations or low-value activities, repeat to yourself the words, "Back to work, back to work, back to work," over and over. In the final analysis, nothing will help you more in your career than for you to get the reputation for being the kind of person who gets important work done quickly and well. This reputation will make you one of the most valuable and respected people in your field. Now here's how you can apply these ideas. Resolve today to develop a sense of urgency in everything you do. Select one area where you have a tendency to procrastinate and make a decision to develop the habit of fast action in that area. When you see an opportunity or a problem, take action immediately. When you're given a task or responsibility, do it quickly and report back fast. Move rapidly in every important area of your life. You will be amazed at how much better you feel and how much more you get done. Chapter 21, Single-Handle Every Task. James Allen once wrote, "And herein lies the secret of true power. Learn by constant practice how to husband your resources and concentrate them at any given moment upon a given point." Eat that frog. Every bit of planning, prioritizing, and organizing comes down to this simple concept. Your ability to select your most important task, to begin it, and then to concentrate on it single-mindedly until it is complete is the key to high levels of performance and personal productivity. Every great achievement of humankind has been preceded by a long period of hard, concentrated work until the job was done. Single-handling requires that once you begin a task, you keep working at it without diversion or distraction until the job is 100% complete. You keep urging yourself onward by repeating the words, "back to work," over and over whenever you're tempted to stop or do something else. By concentrating single-mindedly on your most important task, you can reduce the time required to complete it by 50% or more. It's been estimated that the tendency to start and stop a task, to pick it up, put it down, and come back to it, can increase the time necessary to complete the task by as much as 500%. You see, each time you return to the task, you have to familiarize yourself with where you were when you stopped and what you still have to do. You have to overcome inertia and get yourself going again. You have to develop momentum and get into a productive work rhythm. But when you prepare thoroughly and then begin, refusing to stop or turn aside until the job is done, you develop energy, enthusiasm, and motivation. You get better and more productive. You work faster and more effectively. The truth is that once you've decided on your number one task, anything else that you do other than that is a relative waste of time. Any other activity is just not as valuable or as important as this job based on your own priorities. The more you discipline yourself to working non-stop on a single task, the more you move forward along the efficiency curve. That means you get more and more high-quality work done in less and less time. Each time you stop working, however, you break this cycle and move backward on the curve to where every part of the task is more difficult and time-consuming. Elbert Hubbard defined self-discipline as the ability to make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. In the final analysis, success in any area requires tons of discipline. Self-discipline, self-mastery, and self-control are the basic building blocks of character and high performance. Starting a high-priority task and persisting with that task until it is 100% complete is the true test of your character, your willpower, and your resolve. Persistence is actually self-discipline in action. The good news is that the more you discipline yourself to persist on a major task, the more you like and respect yourself, and the higher is your self-esteem. And the more you like and respect yourself, the easier it is for you to discipline yourself to persist even more. By focusing clearly on your most valuable task and concentrating single-mindedly until it is 100% complete, you actually shape and mold your own character. You become a superior person. You become a stronger, more competent, more confident, and happier person. You feel more powerful and productive. You eventually feel capable of setting and achieving any goal. You become the master of your own destiny. You place yourself on an ascending spiral of personal effectiveness on which your future is absolutely guaranteed. And the key to all of this is for you to determine the most valuable and important thing you could possibly do at every single moment, and then eat that frog. Here's something you can do immediately. Take action. Resolve today to select the most important task or project that you could complete, and then launch into it immediately. Once you start your most important task, discipline yourself to persevere without diversion or distraction until it is 100% complete. See it as a test to determine whether you are the kind of person who can make a decision to complete something and then carry it out. Once you begin, refuse to stop until the job is finished. Now here's the conclusion, and let's put it all together. The key to happiness, satisfaction, great success, and a wonderful feeling of personal power and effectiveness is for you to develop the habit of eating your frog first thing every day when you start work. Fortunately, this is a learnable skill that you can acquire through repetition. And when you develop the habit of starting on your most important task before anything else, your success is assured. Here's a summary of the 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more things done faster. Review these rules and principles regularly until they become firmly ingrained in your thinking and actions, and your future will be guaranteed. Number 1, set the table. Decide exactly what you want. Clarity is essential. Write out your goals and objectives before you begin. Number 2, plan every day in advance. Think on paper. Every minute you spend in planning can save you 5 or 10 minutes in execution. Number 3, apply the 80-20 rule to everything you do. 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. Always concentrate your efforts on that top 20%. Number 4, consider the consequences. Your most important tasks and priorities are those that can have the most serious consequences, positive or negative, on your life or work. Focus on these tasks above all else. Number 5, practice the ABCDE method continually. Before you begin work on a list of tasks, take a few moments to organize them by value and priority so that you can be sure of working on your most important activities. Number 6, focus on key result areas. Identify and determine those results that you absolutely, positively have to get done to do your job well, and work on them all day long. Number 7, obey the law of forced efficiency. There is never enough time to do everything, but there's always enough time to do the most important things. What are they? Number 8, prepare thoroughly before you begin. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Number 9, do your homework. The more knowledgeable and skilled you become at your key tasks, the faster you start them and the sooner you get them done. Number 10, leverage your special talents. Determine exactly what it is that you are very good at doing or could be very good at, and throw your whole heart into doing those specific things very, very well. Number 11, identify your key constraints. Determine the bottlenecks or choke points, internally or externally, that set the speed at which you achieve your most important goals, and then focus on alleviating those constraints. Number 12, Take it one oil barrel at a time. You can accomplish the biggest and most complicated job if you just complete it one step at a time. Number 13, put the pressure on yourself. Imagine that you have to leave town for a month and work as if you had to get all your major tasks completed before you left. Number 14, maximize your personal powers. Identify your periods of highest mental and physical energy each day and structure your most important and demanding tasks around these times. Get lots of rest so you can perform at your best. Number 15, motivate yourself into action. Be your own cheerleader. Look for the good in every situation. Focus on the solution rather than the problem. Always be optimistic and constructive. Number 16, practice creative procrastination. Since you can't do everything, you must learn to deliberately put off those tasks that are of low value so that you have enough time to do the few things that really count. Number 17, do the most difficult task first. Begin each day with your most difficult task, the one task that can make the greatest contribution to yourself and your work, and resolve to stay at it until it's complete. Number 18, slice and dice the task. Break large, complex tasks down into bite-sized pieces and then just do one small part of the task to get started. Number 19, create large chunks of time. Organize your days around large blocks of time where you can concentrate for extended periods on your most important tasks. Number 20, develop a sense of urgency. Make a habit of moving fast on your key tasks. Become known as a person who does things quickly and well. And number 21, single-handle every task. Set clear priorities, start immediately on your most important task, and then work without stopping until the job is 100% complete. This is the real key to high performance and maximum personal productivity. Make a decision to practice these principles every day until they become second nature to you. With these habits of personal management as a permanent part of your personality, your future will be unlimited. Just do it. Eat that frog. This is Brian Tracy, and thank you for listening. For more information on how we can help you, contact Barrett Kohler or come and visit me at my website at briantracy.com. Good luck in eating your frog.
Copyright 2001 American Audio Literature.